I love creating the podcast. If you have enjoyed the episodes in any way, the best way to support me is my subscription link. For as little as $3 a month, you can help support the time and production cost included in producing the podcast.
My name is Barbara Ann Briggs, and I am a certified teacher of Transcendental Meditation and also the author of 2 books, Pilgrimage on the Path of Love, a novel of visionary fiction which has been hailed as the perfect amalgamation of spiritual awakening and self-discovery. I'm also the author of The Contribution of Maharshi's Vedic Science to Complete Fulfillment in Life. I'm a poet and a freelance journalist with numerous articles published in many different parts of the world. In this podcast, The Essence of Life, we will begin to understand the meaning of what is actually the essence of life and where can we find it. The essence of life is hidden in the silent source of life itself. The subject of today's podcast is pure love. The essential nature of pure love is divine. In pure love, the soul of the lover and the beloved become one in an eternal embrace. Only pure love is capable of opening wide the windows of the heart so that one can see into the very soul of life, not with the physical eyes, but with the eyes of the soul. It sees not just the body, but the soul of the beloved. And it appreciates the higher self of the beloved and is drawn to the kindred song that calls awake the same melody humming deep within its own heart. Pure love is ever giving. It desires only to give, to serve, to worship at the altar of love. It seeks not to possess, but to bestow. It willingly sacrifices everything for the beloved, without that feel of giving something, because the nature of love is unity, oneness of life. When the beloved eats, the lover feels full. There is no longer any division between me and mine, no boundaries of the ego to obstruct the flow of love. This quotation by Maharshi: "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal." End quote. Such a love as this is rare in this world. Why? Because to experience divine love, consciousness must become divine. The senses, the mind, intellect, and feelings must be purified so that the subtler, more celestial levels of life can be perceived. The subtler levels of life contain more power, more happiness, and more love. The value of meditation is that it enlivens subtler levels of experience and perception. To love as purely and deeply as possible is also a kind of spiritual practice, for real love requires great self-sacrifice. The mother of Sri Aurobindo's ashram has said, and I quote, "Of all austerities, the most difficult is the austerity of feeling and emotion, the tapasya of love, end quote. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and yet it is the most tender. It requires great courage to give of oneself completely, and infinite tenderness to nourish the deepest level of someone else's being. It is the pride of the ego which stands in the way of pure love, for it is the nature of the ego to assert its independence, and it is the nature of love to unite. But even the resistance of the ego can ultimately be overcome by the power of love, for the bliss of union surpasses the limited pleasure of self-assertion. There's a beautiful saying by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and I quote, "Love is an eternal triangle. God is at the apex of the triangle, and man and woman at the base of the triangle. When a man and woman are united at the top, they will not be separated at the bottom. Union for unity, unity for union with God," end quote. Ideal relationships are based on a spiritual union of deep love and devotion. It opens the heart, enabling the feelings to soar upwards towards God. Only a relationship based on pure love untie the knots of the heart and melt the rigid space-time boundaries of the ego so that the inner vision can expand to embrace the totality of life. In an ideal relationship, the spiritual union between the heart of the man and woman is most important. The quality and strength of their union on the spiritual level is what sustains and develops their relationship on the emotional, mental, and physical level. The bliss of spiritual union based on pure love far exceeds the transitory happiness available on the emotional, mental, or physical level, because the spiritual level is the immortal, never-changing level of life, whereas the grosser levels of life are always changing. Such a spiritual union is the ideal kind of relationship for seekers on the path of liberation. Like a divine elixir, pure love heals, soothes, and nourishes the finest level of feeling. In its purest expression, pure love inundates the heart with divine bliss, silently preparing the way for the final consummation of love, wherein the individual soul merges completely with the divine beloved, the Lord of love, the all-pervading light of life. Radha's love for Sri Krishna is an expression of the pinnacle of this divine love, the most perfect expression of total surrender of the individual soul to the cosmic self. Their love was so complete that the line of division between the two faded away. Only the divine light of love remained, spreading its luminous glow over everything. The world became a temple of his grace. Radha's love was so full that she lost herself in that love and merged completely with Krishna, the divine beloved. I would now like to read you a quotation from Maharishi from the book Love. A loving heart, a heart full of love, is the precious essence of human life, and that, when it flows in abundance, when it flows in unbounded tidal waves of bliss, it is the glory of the Supreme, the blessing of Mother Divine, and the grace of God. A wave of love flows over the whole range of life. It sweeps over the whole range of creation. The power of love pilots the plane of life, here, there, and everywhere. Love takes life from home to hill, from hill to hill, from hill to home. Love is desperately seeking. It keeps the path alive and warms the goal. The silent force of love knows no barriers. It takes the life from the ruggedness of mountains to the roughness of the sea. And there, in the silence of wilderness, and even so in the noisy horizon of the sea, the vast expansion of the unbounded love from a distance brings a breeze cool and fresh to cool the heart and soothe the pangs of separation. The delicate and kind hand of love takes life from the prick of thorns to the softness and tenderness of a rose. On the softness of the cradle of love, the life swings from the loneliness of a desperate quest to the rich plains of fulfillment. A tender spark of love lights the light in loneliness. It burns alive the pangs of the bygone past and spreads the light of hope and joy and fulfillment. And a tiny spark of love does it. Love is the most precious gift of God to us. Let us use it for all good. Let our life be full with love. Let us love and be loving, and spread grace around us. Let not the din of the world and the thick and thin of life disturb the fullness of love in us. Let us be full of grace and full of light, and in the fullness of love let us be up and awake to serve the will of God and rise to be of real use to ourselves and to our fellow men." End quote. There's another quote by Hermann Hesse. "The beginning of all art is love. The value and scope of all art are determined by the artist's capacity for love." End quote. And by Rumi, the poet, "Be certain in the religion of love. There are no believers or unbelievers. Love embraces all." End quote. And by the mother of Aurobindo Ashram, "Nothing is more precious than love. Indeed, it is the supreme power. No blessing is equal to that of love. Love is at the origin of the world, and love is its goal." End quote. I'd like to read you a quotation by Khalil Gibran on love. "When you love, you should not say, 'God is in my heart,' but rather, 'I am in the heart of God.' And think not that you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires, to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody to the night, to know the pain of too much tenderness, to be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully, to wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving, to rest at the noon hour and meditate love's ecstasy, to return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips." End quote. And I'd like to read a quotation by Maharishi. "Love opens all doors, no matter how closed they may be, no matter how rusty from lack of use. Your work is to bring unity and harmony, to open all doors which have been closed for a long time. Have patience and tolerance. Open your heart all the time. Love, love, love. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast so that we can share many more episodes related to unfolding the very essence of life. And I look forward to many more episodes in which we embark upon the quest of self-knowledge together. A new episode will be uploaded every 2 weeks. You are also invited to go to www.barbaraannbriggs.com to learn more about my work. Until next time, very best wishes.